Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey there, it's Amy from the Run, Eat, Drink podcast, and this is episode or quick bite number 80.
Quick Bite. It's the bite-sized, fun-sized version of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
What's the fun size? Now I want candy like the fun-sized candies you get at Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is a fun-sized bite because we can't fit in all of the great eats and drinks that we usually have on a runcation in one episode.
And our last episode was a long one.
Yeah.
And we still had stuff left over. So we had to, some things just couldn't make the cut for the main episode, but that's okay. It gives us a chance to talk about those just by themselves and give you guys a little more info on some other awesome places to explore and indulge once the racing and the running is done.
Yes, and we did explore and indulge after that Hemingway Sunset 5K.
And there's so much to do and see and experience when you're in Key West. And there is a ton of stuff to do. And then really all over the island. But the place that people tend to gravitate towards is Duval Street.
Duval Street, yes.
And there's no shortage of fantastic places. But we want to talk about a specific place today. And that is DJ's Clam Shack.
And listen, let's just put a disclaimer on the front end of this before we even talk about it. Yes, we ran the Southernmost Half Marathon back in October of 2018. And on that episode number 40, we featured their clam strips and their conch fritters.
Yes, so we are revisiting this place. We know that it's been on the show before.
Let me tell you why.
Not accidental.
Yeah, because a listener on the podcast, he messaged us pictures of what he had, and he said, yeah, you may have done a couple of menu items, but you need to return to DJ's Clam Shack, and you need to have something that it's not necessarily named for, but is a must on their menu.
And it is something that they are known for.
Well, yeah. It's just not in their name.
No.
You know what I mean?
But that thing that we are talking about is they're insanely delicious, incredibly large, and just so deserving of the praise. Lobster roll.
Yes, this listener did not steer us wrong
at
all. The lobster roll. But see, you had clam strips also when we went there back in October.
I think it's only appropriate that you get clam strips when you go to a clam shack.
Yeah, but I think that you also wanted to explore different menu items with clams.
Well, I did, because while we were there talking with the staff and placing our orders, they mentioned the fact that they had full belly clams or whole belly clams, and they had some Ipswich Fried Clam Basket there. And I said, the last time I was here, I had the clam strips. Let me try the whole bellies and see how those are going to compare.
So you did a comparison contrast.
Well, between these two episodes, yes. I did not have them side by side again. I could not fit that much food in one sitting.
It's a lot of food.
It really is.
Yeah.
You will go there and, all over Key West, places are offering, their take on traditional seafood or their spin on things that they consider very Key Westy.
Yeah.
Clam strips are a very Florida thing, not just a Key West thing.
Right.
But these guys are doing whole bellies, which you do see a lot in seafood restaurants that have like northern roots sometimes.
Like New England roots?
New England, New York.
Or Maine. Or something like that.
You'll see those a lot. I mean, for some reason, Florida tends to be more about the clam strip.
Yeah.
And these guys do happen to have a location up north.
Yes.
But
so for our New York listeners, there you go.
But I will tell you, they are hitting the ball out of the park with their clam strips. The Ipswich whole belly clams.
Yes, let's talk about those.
Were amazing. They were perfectly fried in I want to say it's like a cornmeal or cracker meal batter, lightly battered, very crunchy, not greasy, and absolutely tender. It was the same thing that I did when we were doing the review of the clam strips, where I would bite and pull to see if I was going to get that rubber band effect.
Too, yeah.
And I was biting right through. The breading was not coming off in my fingers, wasn't leaving a bunch of oil on my fingers. Same exact thing here. So the basket comes with a ton of whole bellies that are perfectly fried on top of just a generous helping of French fries.
Oh, yeah, those were good.
And it was just fantastic to sit out there. They had tables set up. There was a street fair going on that they do every weekend now, and they set up extra tables outside, so you're not just sitting in those seats facing Duval Street. You're actually sitting on Duval Street at tables.
Sure.
And you're able to do some people watching and then just have some of the best whole belly clams I think that I've ever had.
Hey,
so
that tartar sauce was really good too.
It was, and I got the impression that they're making that stuff fresh in house too. We didn't specifically ask them about it, but I did ask them. I said, "Okay, I'm detecting there's a tenderness and a little sweetness here to these clams. I think you're doing something to them."
Oh.
And I
you got some inside baseball, did you?
I took a stab at it, and I said, "Are you soaking these in buttermilk ahead of time?" And he said, "You're the only person who's ever asked us that."
But it wasn't buttermilk,
it's not buttermilk, it's condensed milk. And I will tell you, the next time we do clams at home, I am soaking them in condensed milk ahead of time. That was such a neat trick to tenderize and to add just a hint of sweetness that I never would have thought of.
Because when you let me try them, I was like, hey, these are not chewy at all.
I don't think these guys know how to make a chewy clam.
And they're not overcooked. They're perfect. And the breading was crunchy. The tartar sauce just added a tang.
And it was just enough to give you the texture, but the flavor wasn't the breading. The flavor was the clam.
Yeah.
It accented the clam perfectly.
Oh, yeah. But now it's huge. That basket, I mean, you could get it on a sandwich, right? You could get it on a roll.
I think that you could do. I think
Didn't
they were
they say?
offering some rolls. Let me see. We can actually look at the menu real quick. They have some sandwiches there, as I recall.
You can do the fried clams on a roll or a basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do the basket because that's just a very traditional thing for me.
It's a lot of food anyway.
And loading that on a roll would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot say enough good about these guys and their clams. I can't. But you went with something that was recommended by one of our listeners.
Yes.
And
yes. Oh.
Tell us.
The lobster roll. Not the overstuffed Maine lobster roll, because that looked like it could feed an army.
Yeah, let me say, you're gonna look at the menu and you're gonna go, oh my gosh, $18 for a lobster roll?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's worth every penny.
Because look,
it's a meal in and of itself.
Yes, it is. It's huge. The bread, it was like a piece of sourdough, or I don't know. We didn't ask what kind of bread it was.
I want to say that this was like a thick cut slab of brioche that they split when they're doing it.
Because it was sweeter.
It's a little sweeter, a little butterier.
Yeah, and it had been grilled and buttered and made so that it looked like almost as thick as Texas toast.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Yeah. It's like they split a piece of Texas toast.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't really split it because it was connected on the bottom to hold the insane amount of lobster. And when I say lobster, I don't mean teeny tiny pieces. I mean, like the claw on a lobster.
Tail meat.
Like
claw meat.
That whole thing as one piece.
Yep.
Okay? And it's not like other lobster rolls that have too much mayo.
Right.
Like it was just enough mayo and just enough celery to hold together the massive amount of meat that you have in that sandwich. The sandwich is brimming over the top with that meat that is freshly cooked,
tender, not chewy, the briny taste of the sea that you just want in a lobster roll. And the mayo, it wasn't just straight up mayo flavor that was added to the sandwich there. It was a hint of tarragon.
Just a little.
Just a little. It wasn't overwhelming because I know tarragon is like that licoricey flavor, and sometimes if you have too much of it, it can be off-putting because it's not like you want to eat a black Twizzler.
No.
That kind of, on a lobster roll. You don't. So Twizzlers have their place. They're lovely movie snacks, but this was just a hint of tarragon, and I feel like it brought out the crunchiness in the celery, and the celery was a really teeny tiny dice.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't take away from the lobster, which was the star, and they served it alongside just a little sliver of lemon.
Mm-hmm.
So you squeeze that on, and it just brought all the flavors together. The butteriness of the roll, which was a slice of bread. The fantastic meat. I can't say enough about it. So much so that I might have had it
a second time.
Twice. I had it. Okay. Full disclosure. Before and after the race.
Yeah.
On 2 separate days.
And I got it too. And it's everything you're saying is 100% true.
Oh.
I think it is safe to say that you get an entire lobster's worth of meat on a single sandwich.
I think you do. So what do you think they do with that overstuffed Maine lobster roll?
I'm guessing you get two lobsters worth of meat on a single piece of their gigantic bread.
I don't know.
But, again, you are not going to go wrong. It's a meal in and of itself.
So good.
You're getting claw meat, tail meat. They're probably back there rolling the meat out of the leg joints. The thing is just, like you said, brimming with lobster meat.
It's over the top.
And again, they don't know how to make tough seafood there.
No.
This is cooked perfectly.
Nothing is chewy.
Nothing's chewy. Everything is nice and buttery, and this is the quintessential lobster experience that you would want to have.
And listen, it came with coleslaw, and that coleslaw tasted really fresh as well.
Yeah, they're doing something kind of unique with their coleslaw. It's not super mayo-y. And
they don't overuse mayo in any dish.
No.
Yeah.
It would be really easy to do, and also be really easy to punt on the sides when you're doing something like that. But the French fries are great. The mayo is really good, the coleslaw is really good, not overly mayonnaise-y.
Yeah.
And
those French fries were like hot out to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were great. I dipped them in the tartar sauce. That that you didn't finish.
I would have finished it.
Well, now my question for you to wrap up this awesome visit, or actually multiple visits to DJ's Clam Shack in this same trip, would be, when you go back, will you clam strips, or will you get the fried clam basket?
Ooh, I might have to go neither.
Really?
These guys are doing something else that I want to try.
What?
They are doing their own take on tacos. They're offering a number of options, including mahi, shrimp, and chicken, but they also are doing cracked conch. So you could do conch in a taco, and that's a meat that if you don't know how to prepare it, it's going to be like eating a pencil eraser. And I want to see these guys work their magic on a meat that wants to resist your every effort to make it tender and delicious. So,
do you think that's fried or no?
I don't know. I can't wait to try it though.
Oh, you're not going to choose either. You're not going to choose between your clam dishes.
Well, again, I don't think it could go wrong either way. My personal, I will say, I'll come down on one side. My personal preference is the clam strips, but that's just the Florida boy in me.
Yeah.
The whole bellies were fantastic, though.
Well, hey, this is not the only quick bite that we have for you from Key West. We've done a couple, and we still have more to share. So stay tuned for more quick bites from the Key West trip. But for now, I'm Amy.
And I'm Dana.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having a great third year because of your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're at Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or shoot us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.